CNBC TV 18, celebrating 16 years of business leadership.
Welcome back. You tune in to Markets Today on CNBC TV 18. Nearly 1% gains on the frontline indices. The Nifty ended at that 78.34 mark, while the Sensex gained over 200 points. Strength was seen in the banking stocks, particularly an ICICI Bank. In fact, that was the top gainer on the Nifty. But even other stocks like an ITC, Infosys, all heavyweights contributed to the up move. Speaking about Infosys and the IT stocks, in fact, IT actually opened in the red, but towards the end, it all recovered in trade. The news surrounding the IT sector today is that the Congress has passed that $1.1 trillion health care spending bill, which also includes doubling the visa fees for IT companies. So technically, it's negative news, but this perhaps was factored in just last week. Goldman Sachs says the incremental impact on IT companies could be about 15 to 20 basis points of revenues on an annual basis, while IDFC says the impact on the operating margins could be about 50 to 70 basis points, and the earnings impact could be about 2 to 4 percentage. But as you can see, today the stocks didn't react. In fact, they recovered and closed higher, but most of the pressure was seen last week.
Yes, that clearly is a concern that's still lingering very much over Indian IT. But let's now move on to some more stock-specific action. Essar Oil has finally completed its delisting process successfully. The stock spiked up as much as 9% in the bargain. Varinder Bansal joins in with the fine print. What's the price at which this delisting will happen, Varinder?
Well, thank you so much. Clearly, it was an important day for Essar Oil promoters. They needed 9.25 crore shares under the reverse book building process to delist the company. And the data on NSE and BSE under that reverse book building clearly shows that nearly 10 crore shares were offered. And that means 100% book has been done under the delisting norms. The price, of course, is important. Until Friday, the minimum price which was coming for nearly 7 crore shares was 240 rupees. Suddenly, in around 2:30, you saw that nearly 2 crore shares were offered under the reverse book building at 262.80 rupees, and hence the stock shot up by nearly 10%. Now, at the end of the day, the promoters of Essar Oil got an entire 100% of shares what they were asking for, and the price range comes from 240 to 262.80. Most of the analysts believe that 262.8 could be the base price now, a minimum price for Essar Oil promoters to decide whether they want to delist the company or not, whether they accept this price or not. So the time will tell, but at least for now, the stock is moving up, and let's see what the promoters do and whether they accept this price or not. The stock has moved from 100 rupees to 250 rupees in the last 1.5 years under this entire process.
Thanks, Varinder. Moving on, realty major HDIL ended 7% higher today on news of their deal to sell a land parcel in Mumbai. Sonia joins us with the fine print. Sonia, this news came post-market hours, but you were picking this up from your sources.
Well, sources have told CNBC TV 18 that HDIL has now completed the sale of its Kurla land to DK Realtors. The agreement registration process was completed on Friday, and the Kurla land has now been sold to DK Realtors for 649 crores. This is 85,000 square meters of development rights in Kurla that is sold to DK Realtors. Remember, DK Realtors is a part of the Dheeraj Group, and part of these funds have been received by HDIL already. The rest of the funds will be received on completion of the approval process. The management, HDIL, refused to comment to CNBC TV 18.
All right. Thanks, Sonia, so much for those details. Another stock in news today was Kaveri Seeds. The stock was down almost 10% intraday after analysts expressed concerns over receivables from the company. C. Mithun Chand, the whole-time director at Kaveri Seeds, then spoke to CNBC TV 18, and he clarified to us that the company has cash on books and the dispute on royalties only pertains to 1 year, that's FY16.
We have got a very good balance sheet, and we have got a good cash position in the company. We have got more than 300 crores of free cash in the book. Yes, there's an issue between the Monsanto that regarding the royalty payment. That's only for 1 year, that is 15-16. In terms of the Monsanto, the amount what I'm saying of 200 crores is which we are appealing in the court to refund the money from 2010. But that's subject to the court decision. Whether we need to pay 66 crores or they need to pay refund 200 crores, that's subject to court decision. So that we can't say it as a receivable. I can say that as a disputed money.
Okay, and here's a CNBC TV 18 exclusive. Eicher Motors has a new global strategy for Royal Enfield. Ronojoy Banerjee caught up with Siddharth Lal of Eicher Motors and began by asking him about the company's global ambitions.
1st of January, we start our own market company sales. So we're appointing our own dealers.
Right.
We're probably opening up a store or two on our own. And that's how we're going forward in the US. It's going to take time. I mean, hopefully we'll have sales growth. We will have sales growth, but on a small base right now.
Right.
So our objective of reaching, let's say, I mean, it's a very loose objective because every market is different in size. But basically, from hundreds, which we were doing in markets, we want to reach in the 10,000 plus range. That's a very round number, but in any international market of size.
And you can catch more of that conversation at 6:30 this evening, Riding with Royal Enfield. That's coming up in just a while. Now, a number of other stocks are also in the news today. Mangalam Malu has that wrap for us. Mangalam.
Well, in terms of all the other stocks that were on our radar today, we start with SPARC or Sun Pharma Advanced Research. That one was the collateral damage on account of the weakness that we saw in Sun Pharma itself, though it was off the day's low later. But Indigo was in focus. Interglobe Aviation rather lost about 5% from the high point of the day on account of uncertainty coming in on delivery of the Airbus aircrafts as well. But Madhukon Projects and Supreme Infra were in focus as well on the back of NHAI's suspicion that the money withdrawn from escrow accounts have been more than that they were supposed to. In fact, we also spoke to Supreme Infra and they said that the increased expenditure is on account of higher interest and maintenance expenses as well. Reliance Communications was also in focus, saw an uptick in today's trading session after the company announced to the exchanges that they've commenced the monetization of surplus real estate, which they sold for 330 crores. However, the stock came off the day's high later. But IVRCL also was in focus, gained about 4% in today's trading session after the board announced the split between their two business verticals, EPC and BOT as well. Kesoram also was locked in upper circuit after the plan or the company proposed to mop up 650 crore rupees via AQIP. Jubilant Life, on the other hand, was also in focus, gained in today's trading session after the RBI gave the company permission or gave the FIIs and the FPIs permission to invest up to 45% in the company. Good Luck Steel was also in focus today after they received an approval from RDSO or the Ministry of Railway. We spoke to the management and they indicated that on the back of this approval, they are looking at revenues coming in anywhere between 40 to 50 crores in the next financial year. And finally, some winter cheer coming in for Monte Carlo exactly 1 year after listing on the bourses. That stock was up about 18% in today's trading session with volumes as high as 32 times that we've seen in the last 10 days. Back to you.
Okay, Mangalam, thanks so much for that. It's time now to get you a technical check in the market. Sudarshan Sukhani joins us now. Hi, Sudarshan. Good day for the bulls. What did you make of the market today and early signs about how tomorrow is likely to be?
Good evening. Markets had a good day today, and it does appear that the 7800 to 7850 zone is now acting as resistance. It is the area in which the markets have stopped their rally for 3 successive days, including today. So the short-term trend is either sideways or up. It's a little confusing. We'll assume that the short-term trend may be sideways or up, but there is no opportunity to go short. This market can be bought into or traders can step aside. I would suggest that traders should look to buy this market so far as the Nifty holds above 7800. Below 7800, the buying opportunities are likely to vanish and dissipate in the Nifty. And the levels for the Nifty can also be used to trade in the Bank Nifty. So 7800 is our benchmark above which we buy the Nifty, buy the Bank Nifty and be on the long side of the market. As of now, there is nothing to suggest that the small relief rally which has started has exhausted itself. This means that we should not be looking to go short in this market. Preferably mid-caps, large caps as well as the main indices should be looked at for buying wherever the opportunities arise.
Right, Sudarshan, that's on the index. What about individual stocks? Any ideas you're working with?
For tomorrow, I would stay with the buying ideas. One of the mid-caps, LIC Housing Finance, had a reasonable correction and has started bouncing up from that correction. It's one of the more outperforming stocks in the financial services sector. And the chances are that a strong resistance level in LIC housing could easily break and more upside could be seen. So for tomorrow, I suggest you go and buy LIC Housing. As usual, keep a stop loss because markets are giving a sense of being a little volatile.
Okay, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Markets Today.
Thank you for watching.